Review. I present to you. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Live with Wolfman. I am your host, Jacob Wolfman, and this is a show about all the things that you are interested in and I'm interested in. We talk about forms, we talk about tricking, we talk about point fighting, we talk about, Equifax. You want to talk about Equifax? We can talk about Equifax if you want, but I don't think you're really interested in that. What you are interested in, though, are legendary world champions. You have asked me to get legends into the show, so I have delivered for my Wolfpack today. I have discovered a legend of legends. He is a mythical competitor of competitors, yet he's actually a real person. He's the real deal. No, that's Daniel Sterling. No, that's Raymond Daniels. Dude, I just got to say, I can't call him the real deal. I think that's trademarked. But if that wasn't trademarked by Raymond Daniels, I'd call this guy the real deal. Instead, I'll just call him the legend because that's what he is. All right, that's enough of this. That's enough. Let's just get him up on the show. Hold on, let me get my buttons all in order. Everybody, give me all the reactions you got. All the floating thumbs ups, all the floating hearts, all the floating wows. You can give me a few tears. I don't really care. Just give it up for Danny ETKIN. Danny, you are live.
What's up, guys? Jacob, that was quite an introduction. I got to say thank you on that one. That was pretty cool.
I tried. I slipped up a little bit there, calling you the wrong trademark name, but
it's okay.
It's all right. We're here.
I forgive you.
Thank you. That means a lot. Thank you, legend. Now, can you tell the people real quick who you are, in case there's one person in the world that's never heard of you?
Okay, well, I'm Danny ETKIN. I am a multiple-time world champion. I'm a tricker. I'm on Team Paul Mitchell, and I am a hyper-pro athlete.
Awesome. So Danny is he's a monster. Do you even keep track of how many times you've won? Do you have any idea?
No idea.
If you had to ballpark it.
One an overall or one like a first place?
Let's start at overall because it's a smaller number, obviously, right?
Overalls. I don't know. That's a tough number. If I were to guess, maybe like 40, 30, 30, 40.
Okay,
something like that.
So it's 30, pretty safe to say you're a 30-plus time world champion.
Something like that.
Okay. Just to give you an idea, 30x at least, 30 to 40 time world champion.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a big deal. And then if we were just to count the first places, I mean, you can't.
Yeah, I couldn't even count.
No way. It has to be in the hundreds, right?
Or more.
Or more. The thousands.
If you really want to go back to like when I really started, like at 6 years old, I have no idea. But
so let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's start there. You started martial arts when you were 6 years old.
I started when I was 4, but I started competing locally when I was 6, and I started doing NASCA around the middle of 2008.
And how old are you now?
I'm 17 now.
Okay, so basically as long as you've been out of diapers, you've been
pretty much as long as I can remember, basically.
And how did you get started? When you were 4? What was going on in your 4-year-old mind?
This is kind of a funny story. So I saw a commercial for Tiger Schulman's when I was 4 years old, and for some reason I was always really into hip hop. I thought hip hop was really cool, and I think they had like some type of beat going on in the background. I saw some flying side kicks over some pads. I thought it was hip hop, and I told my mom, like, "Mom, this hip hop commercial looks so cool. You got to sign me up." And I went, and it was not hip hop; it was karate, and I fell in love with martial arts kind of by chance, almost by mistake. And I actually did end up doing hip hop later on, but that's kind of funny though. Yeah, I did get tricked into it.
Well,
how dare they?
A little fun fact. Danny, I don't know if you knew this. Maybe you did, but breakdancing in particular actually originates from Kung Fu.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you just got one of the top breakdancing pages on your show.
That's right. We did. We had Stance on here with Daniel Zhu, which was pretty awesome. We have some sort of weird shared history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy used to, like, when I used to train tricking in open gym at like the gymnastics place, on one side of the floor we did tricks, and on the other side of the floor there's the breakdancers. And we talked to each other a little bit, but they kind of did their thing, we did our thing. Well, one of those guys was Daniel Zhu, and he later created Stance, one of the biggest breakdancing channels out there. So I was just kind of weird.
That's crazy.
Like, dude, let's chat.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So anyhow, you've been doing this since you were 4.
Yep.
And everybody knows you for pretty much a couple things. They know you as the Chucks guy, the Chucks master. They know you for your tricks, and obviously they know you for like winning everything all the time. So let's dive into each of these subjects. What's the story with Chucks? How did you become a Chuck master?
Okay. Chucks, another time where I got tricked into doing something. It was not my intention to do Chucks. I started off, my first weapon ever was Sai, actually. I don't know if there's any videos of that. Maybe my mom has some somewhere, but not on YouTube at least. Dang. And then I did bow, which I think we have a video coming up. 2008, I did bow. That was my first time, I think, at a NASCAR tournament. Yeah, it's up on that Lizzie ETKIN channel. It's my mom's channel. And
this guy.
That was at the U.S. Open. And half of this form was actually my traditional bow form, and the other half was like a little something I made up. But yeah, I just thought I should like kind of do a release since I had a shiny bow. I wanted to do the extreme division, so that was kind of the story behind that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's we're just gonna watch this tiny
and you can also see Jackson in the back, Ricky Morris in the back. Back when we were all in like 11 and under division.
That's awesome. This is the Danny Etkin that I first saw a long time ago. This little guy. Crushing it with the bow staff.
Yes, the aerial.
You were so you started with Sai, moved to bow staff, eventually landed with Chucks. Did you ever do sword?
I never did sword, but I did do Kamazo.
I was gonna say if you would have done sword, then you would have done all of the Ninja Turtle weapons. Yeah,
I know, right? That'd have been cool. I could have wrote that one on my resume or something. All Ninja Turtle weapons.
Master of all Ninja Turtle weapons. I can easily see you following Matt's legacy and being a turtle in the future.
A turtle? Okay.
I could see that happening.
I could see that, yeah.
Look at this guy. All right, so how old are you here?
I was 8 years old here.
8 years old.
Like exactly 8.
Was it your first time competing on a national stage, or like why are we sharing this particular video? Just because it's you?
This is one of my first videos ever of me doing extreme form. Actually, probably ever. And I just thought it was cool because probably not many people know that I did bow, especially like creative bow.
Yeah.
And this is kind of just like the beginning of everything before I I think I had maybe a couple lessons with Matt Emig before this, not for this bow form, but I think that's like when I just started to train with him. And this is just way back. And you can see Jackson, Ricky, Pinto is even in this division. So it's kind of cool to see us all as like little babies, basically. Yeah.
The red guy right there, that's a little Pinto.
That's a little Pinto. Boom. And then when I got to that skip front kick, boom, that's where my traditional bow form came in. I did not quite have the creativity yet when I did this form.
Jackson back there taking notes. All right, that's how you do the bow staff. I got it.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's great. Great first way to start the show with a young Danny. So you eventually decided like, hey, I want to keep competing.
Mm-hmm.
And it suddenly became your life. Like, was there a moment in time when you were like, hey, this is like, I have achieved something great? Or
I don't know if there was a moment where I thought that I achieved something great, but there was a moment where like I kind of like went all in with it. And I was young. I might have been 8 years old, maybe a little bit before, probably 8 years old. And I was training with a Kyokushin, very traditional martial arts school, Toshindo Karate. They were great group of people and instructors. I still have a lot of respect for them, but when it comes to extreme stuff, they weren't really into that. And there was some stuff I could kind of learn, maybe like the tornado kicks. But there became a point where I just like loved all the extreme and creative stuff, and I kind of had to go to that next level, and kind of I had to train somewhere else if I wanted to really pursue that. And I remember there was like a time where I had to talk to my Shihan about it, and that was kind of the point where I was like, okay, well, now I'm all in with this, so let's go.
No turning
So,
back.
yeah. So that was basically it.
And they were cool with it, and
they were totally cool with it. My Shihan always told me that I have to follow my dreams, so he was super supportive about that.
That's awesome.
Which I
You're
think is
lucky.
very rare.
Yes, I was gonna
for a
say,
martial arts school. So
a lot of school owners, like they get really attached. They transform you into like this superhero, and then you get you grow beyond the means of what they could offer, and people have to move on and find bigger, better, more competitive environments. And yeah, school owners, they get mad, and there's all these disputes. I hear it all the time.
Yep.
Athletes are always talking about how they are on bad terms with their school and stuff. So that's really cool to hear that you figured out a way to keep it cool and have your instructor promote you and celebrate the fact that you just want to grow and expand, and that's awesome, man. So I want to know. Let's fast forward. We know. I think. Well, I forgot tricking. Let's talk about tricking. What's the story with tricking? Because you got good really young. Like you were one of the young phenoms back in the day. I think. Were you the first? Were you the dub-dubber, the king dub-dubber at Dreadnought or something? Wasn't that?
Yeah, I was the Dreadnought 2012. Became the youngest dub-dubber. I was the youngest double corker, youngest double B-twist, youngest card triple, I think, some other stuff, snapu. But yeah, that all started like really quick. So like I started, and the way that I got into tricking was I saw a tutorial on YouTube, Billy Belang, or Bylang, how do you say that?
I say Bylang.
Bylang. And it was Matt Emig's 540 tutorial. That was the first time I ever saw Matt Emig. And it was from that. So that was tricking and first time seeing Matt all in one video. And that kind of inspired me to look up some more tricking tutorials, try to get that 540, which took forever. And yeah, and then from there, I like started becoming like a super fan of Matt too, and I started like watching everybody's videos, and that's how I got into really extreme karate as a whole too. So
awesome. And then you ended up having Matt as your coach.
Yeah, that was awesome.
How did that happen?
So, yeah, so this one, so at the New England Open, my grandpa from England came over, and he came to the New England Open with me to like support me. And he knew that I was like a super fan of Matt, and Matt just got finished competing on stage, and my grandpa brought me over to him to get a signature from him, and I was so embarrassed because he went up to Matt and he was like, "This is like your biggest fan ever," and I was like, "Come on, grandpa, like why do you got to say that in front of like my biggest idol?"
Right.
And so although I was a little bit embarrassed at the time, I got a shout out to my grandpa for setting that up, because
shout out to
he was
grandpa.
definitely like, yeah, shout out grandpa. He was like definitely the connector between me and Matt, and like shortly after we started doing some lessons, so that was cool.
And then just took off from there. And I know you linked me a few videos of you and Matt doing like performances together.
Yeah.
Is there one that I can play now?
Let's do the Karate Kid one.
Karate Kid.
So it's down a little bit.
Hold on. I'm slow.
Yep, right there.
Oh, this one. Here it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I think that's a different one.
See, man, you'd think I'd know how to use a computer by now. YouTube has actually done something weird recently with my browser, and like I can't go full screen. It's so weird. Have you ever gotten those notices where it's like, we cannot do full screen on this video?
I can't say I have.
It's something new that I've had happen in like the past week. I don't know. It's weird. Where did it go? Now I lost it.
I
Three
think
Amigos,
up
2
a little
Raw.
bit.
Matt Emig, Anthony Atkins.
Is it gone forever? It might be gone forever.
It's gone forever. Great.
That's okay. We can. There's another Matt Emig one too.
Sure.
With the chunks form, right there.
This one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see this one.
There we go. Yeah. So the first one was when me and Matt, we did a competition for the Karate Kid Challenge, and that was in 2010, and that was kind of cool because like I think my mom like reached out to Matt just to like say that there's this challenge, like you could like pick one of your students or something to do this with, and we were like not expecting him to pick me, like that wasn't even the intention at all, but we just thought it'd be cool for him to do it, and he was like, yeah, let's do it together, and we were like, whoa, like that's sick, and we ended up doing the competition together, and that's how we got flown out to see the premiere of the new Karate Kid movie and like meet Will Smith. Yeah, so that was like one of my cool like life experiences when I was like younger. So that was awesome. And this video was 2014, I think.
Mirror. You guys move so similar.
Yeah. So this. Yeah, he taught me everything. So we definitely have that similar style, which gave us a little bit of an advantage in this for sure. But this one was kind of funny because I believe this was 2014, and I think Aiden was out this year. He was injured. Mm-hmm. And then Tyler and Kenzie got picked up at the beginning of the year for Paul Mitchell. So I was like Team Emig's one person. Matt always used to say one-man army.
Yeah.
Because I was the only person on Team Emig. And so before U.S. Open, I think I had some time. Me and Matt were training, and we just decided to come up with this form. Like, we probably trained it for maybe 4 or 5 days, and it was kind of just because, like, it was just me the whole year, and then Matt was like, you know what, I'm going to do this form with you, and kind of, like, semi-come out of retirement for this one division. So that was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It was awesome. There's a couple years around that, or a couple tournaments during that time where Matt would like suddenly decide he'd do like one thing, compete once, and it was always like, oh my God, it's him. He's still got it.
Yeah.
But he's still got it. That makes
Oh yeah. I think he's the best.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think we may have brought him up on this show probably 48 out of 49 episodes.
Yeah,
some
as
point
you should,
Emig
for sure.
Gets mentioned. All right, so we just got a playlist going, and now we got Danny just going ham with a massive shuriken cutter. What's going on?
So this form, I think this is titled 2 Raw Forms, and I called it Raw because it's like not like a regular form. I kind of wanted to do this form just to do something that I thought was sick, and that's something that I've always valued a lot. For creating my own forms and watching other people, just doing something once in a while, completely out of the box, not even to win, but just to do something that you personally think is just a sick form. And that was kind of my goal behind this one. It was to like an Onyx song. It was just like a rap, just like a hardcore rap song. And yeah, I just wanted to do it just for fun, basically. So
you didn't win with it? Is that what you're saying?
I didn't even win. No, I didn't win with it either time.
Dude, that was crazy.
Yeah, so this is, but that wasn't even my goal though. I just wanted to do this form. I just thought it would be fun, and yeah.
Wow.
But that's kind of like a little insight into like what I value in different forms. I just like really like those raw forms where it's a little bit different, and sometimes once in a while, I think it's okay to do those like special forms where it's just a little bit different, and it's not really to win, but it's kind of just to do something fun and a little bit different. So yeah,
you have you have a very clear idea of exactly what it takes to win, like what a form should look like in order to win. And to me, I look at this and I'm like, dude, just rock forms like this all the time. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. But in your mind, you're like, no, because this kind of form doesn't win. I have to do something different. Like, what do you have to do different to win compared to something as like raw and crazy like this?
Well, first thing is the music. It's very rare that you'll ever find somebody win with just like a rap song. A little bit too raw, I think.
Really?
I think so. I mean, there's been awesome forms where people do it, but the results don't usually back them up. So kind of the same thing with this right here.
Why do you think that is? Is it because the judges don't like rap, or because you can't move to the beat, right? Or
I just think that there's something a little bit less polished about it, and it looks a little bit more put together when you have those like beats that you hit in the beginning, and there's like a full structure. As you can see in this form, I didn't even have an intro. I just went back right into like a 540 kick, and then
awesome though.
I did like my jump front kick, which most people do at the end of the form. That was like my second move before I did any hand combos. So there's just some like weird things, and I think on average people are creatures of habit, and they like seeing what they've seen before. And if you can variate that a little bit, I think that's like the safest way to get those results.
Yeah.
Even though that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's not about the results. You just want to do a good form because that's why you're doing it in the first place. So
yeah, I mean, what I'm seeing here and what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing is amazing, and what I'm hearing is kind of breaking my heart.
Yeah,
you're telling me that like there's kind of a lot to lose by being creative and raw and different and original. You have to follow. It seems like you have to follow some sort of cookie cutter format, because you're telling me like a form like this doesn't win for some reason, but if you do the same structure as everybody else, you stand a better chance of winning, which I personally don't get at all. I would have been like, yeah, this is the winning form. Like, to me, to hear that you didn't win this like shocks me. I don't know who beat you, but I don't know. Who do you know who beat you here?
I think it was Aiden on this one.
All right. Well, okay. Well, Aiden's pretty good, but so I'll give him some. All right, Aiden might be able to beat you on a good day. But I don't know. I'm always talking about on the show, like, you got to be creative, you got to be different, you got to be willing to stand out. You can't be.
And you do. But sometimes I think one of the main things with that one was the rap song. I think just rap in general is kind of like suicide when you're doing the form.
No rap, I guess.
I just wanted to do it. I saw it'd be cool. DC, and then the other time I did it was like at Twin Towers, so like East Coast rap vibes. Just felt like making it raw.
How do you think you would have done had you just done that in a regular forms division, non-musical? With
regular form? Well, I did that the night before, and I won that one. So
interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a different vibe, and that's also the type of form that would do better in a ring setting rather than on stage, I think. And when you're in that like environment on that Friday night and people just happen to come over because their divisions are over, and it's not really the stakes aren't as high as maybe on stage, and people can really gather around and like go crazy. I think that's going to give you a much higher chance with that style of a form.
Yeah.
And I love those Friday nights when people are just around. I love being the last division because everybody comes around. They have nothing to do, and they're just going crazy because they want to see something exciting. And that's what I love, because then it's like everyone's part of the form, and then you just all build up that energy together because you feed off of the audience's energy, and then you like kind of up the intensity, and then they feed off that, and it just keeps going up. So I love those forms.
So speaking of like high intensity and leveling up, you're entering the big boys league.
I am.
This next year. You are moving up into adults.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was that optional, or did you have a choice? I'm not sure what the rules.
Next year I could be in 17 and under for like the first half of the year because my birthday is like something to do with the cutoff. But I'm going to be 17 and a half for the majority of the year, or 17 for the majority of the year. And so yeah, I'll be the youngest one in the division, pretty much. I mean, at least compared to all the adults that are in there. So I'll be 17. Yeah,
that's awesome. Mm-hmm. How you feel about that?
I'm feeling pumped. I'm excited. Yeah.
So
for sure.
Who's going to be regularly competing next year that you got to face off? Is there anyone else moving up?
Yeah, there's some people in my division moving up.
Yeah. So when you compete, are you thinking about like, do you have your eyes set on like, I got to beat this person, or is it more like, I just got to do my best?
I got to do my best, but I don't even think about, I don't think about my competition that much. It's so different. Everyone's so different. If anything, I think about like my favorite competitors of all time, and I'm trying to beat them. I think about Matt Emig. I'll think about Rudy Reyna and John Valera. those guys are the ones that like really pump me up. So I'm trying to go out there and I'm thinking about, okay, what's going to be like that top YouTube video? What's going to be like one of the greatest forms of all time that's going to compete with my legends? And that's what I think about.
Awesome. That's a great way to put it. That's something that we talk about on the show all the time too, is like, you can't just go out there and try to like copy whoever's getting first place and try to be better than them doing what they're doing. You have to like go out there and think about the long-term picture. How are you going to be remembered? Like, what do you do so that people remember you forever, not so that you can just beat this one guy? I'm going to play a little bit of John Valera while we chat here, because you mentioned John Valera.
Yeah, John's a GOAT.
So
for
tell me about this GOAT.
Okay, well, let's just look at this first part real quick. Look how he's just kneeling on the ground, his hands down, and you're just captivated into this form. If you can do that, if you can stay in the same position for that long and get people so intrigued into the form, then you're doing something really good. And not many people can do that. So right now he's done about 2 moves, and I'm already really into this form. Everything he does is sharp, it's focused, he has style, and there's perfection in it. He's not just doing the move to do the move, but he's doing it because it's an art. And that's something that I really appreciate. And that's why I think that he's still one of the greatest of all time. I'd probably put him top 2.
Yeah. Aside Matt, I assume.
Yeah, Matt and JV. Those are my 2 favorites, I'd say.
Awesome.
Or at least up there. I mean, there's some awesome competitors, and everyone has their own.
I know. We're not knocking anybody here. We're just celebrating.
But as far as like what I'm striving to be like, or to I guess be better than, then it's Matt and JV, because these guys are like really my role models.
Yeah, I mean, John Valera is one of the greatest there's ever been. I don't think to this day like anybody has matched his speed. I mean, there's just something. He's just got this certain thing about
and
him.
It's speed with like execution though. It's not just to do the moves fast. It's completing each move fast. It's not how fast can I get to the next move, but it's how fast can I complete the move that I'm doing right now. Yes. And that's what makes it so captivating.
That's awesome. So I saw next on the list, you sent me a bunch of videos. Another one you sent was Carmichael Simon.
Yeah, Carmichael's awesome.
So let's watch a little bit of that guy. Now this video in particular, I think we have played on the show before when we talk about the history of the sport, and this one's kind of legendary because I think this was the first time there was really like a crazy epic trick combo, I believe. This is the one with the 540.
Yeah, the Beatrice 540 hook aerial one.
Yes.
Yeah. But this form is sick too because he has a little bit of a different style from John Valera. Same kind of vibe, but I really appreciate all of the execution. As you can see, he's doing a simple move right now. He's just going into a ready stance, but he's already drawing me into the form. And that's just sick. Even the way that he goes on his toes there for a second, that axe kick is super fast, perfect 720. Just execution on every single move, and that's what excites me.
Yeah. Now, I've had the chance to talk to Carmichael Simon a number of times. I should probably get him on the show. And the one thing he likes to talk about is that when he does his forms, it's about a performance. It's about entertaining the crowd. It's about being different. And you can see that if you look throughout the history and looking at his forms, he always brings something new and different every time he competed. And like he really cared about being a performer. And that's one thing I think like a lot of people in this sport kind of forget, that martial arts forms it's a performance art where you use martial arts. A lot of people, they get caught up and they're like, that's not practical application in a combat of but that's not the whole story, right?
Exactly. And what I also have to say to that is like no traditional form is like that practically either. You're not going to like get mugged on the street and drop into a horse stance. Like that's just not going to happen. So either way, we're doing it for the art form, and it shows a lot, execution-wise, precision, paying attention to details, balance, strength, all that stuff. If you can have those things, you can probably do pretty well in a fight. So
exactly, for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of like older martial artists, some people that train martial arts, I won't put an age on it. They hate on tricking. And they're like, it's so impractical, it can be never used in a fight thing. I'm like, yeah, okay, it's not going to be used in a fight situation, but if you can do a cheat 9, your round kick is probably really sharp and really fast, and way better than somebody that can't do a cheat 9.
For sure.
On average, you know? So there's definitely a lot of like timing and accuracy and speed and power that comes from all of this stuff, and it translates over. But okay, I got a question for you. This wasn't part of my plan today, but it's just been something that's kind of been. I brought it up the other day on Facebook, and there's been a lot of discussion about it, about kind of like judging in general and like what they should be looking for, and you know this balance between this combative bunkai concept of like it should be combative techniques versus the tricks and the flash. Where do you stand on that? Like, what do you think the judges ought to be looking for in like modern day competition?
So I think what a judge should be looking for is the full package. I don't think that they should weigh anything, you know, too much higher than anything else. I think that you do have to have the clean martial arts, a practical application. And by practical application, I just mean like real martial arts moves, whatever that means, as opposed to like, you know, like a bunch of like tutting stuff. You can put some of that in there, but you know, I think that the majority of it should show like, okay, if I did that to somebody, it would hurt somebody and it would be effective.
Right.
And I guess that's kind of controversial to what we just said before about like you're not going to drop into a horse stance, but I think you get the general idea of what I'm trying to say.
Right. You can't get too. So some judges will do that, right? They'll pick. Yeah. They'll pick apart one thing. They're like, oh, you didn't punch like the way my style teaches, and they'll downgrade you for like that little thing, but they'll ignore the whole.
Exactly.
Picture, right?
You have to be able to look at the whole picture, and you know, my own personal thing, if which might be a little bit unique. I don't know where anybody else stands on it, but I would make sure that difficulty does get a little bit more included into the score. So if somebody's doing a crazy move and they do a little tiny stumble, that should not mean that they lost a division, in my opinion. Because you got to appreciate that they're trying to change the game and that they're trying to like improve themselves. And I get that, you know, you have to keep it clean. But I would also take it into consideration a little bit that, okay, if the move is like a million times harder than anybody else and their hands are better or their weapons are cleaner and they're faster and more precise and more powerful, you know, I don't think that should really make that much of a difference. So
now I don't want to
just my own personal thing.
I think that's awesome. I don't want to get you in trouble or anything, so you don't have to answer this question.
Okay.
But it's just in general, we're talking generalities here. Do you think in general judges even understand difficult moves, or do they like look at a flip and they're like, a flip's a flip? Like, I don't know the difference between a double cork and a triple cork if I saw it.
On a technical standpoint, I don't think that they might not necessarily know the names of the moves.
Sure.
But I think that judges. Okay, don't take me like wrong.
I don't want to get you in trouble. I know.
Yeah.
This is a scary
question. I think some people underestimate judges a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think that they just think that they like just don't know anything and everything looks like a backflip to them.
Right.
And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think if somebody showed a judge a double and a single, I think they could see that there's something a little bit different about the double and something that's maybe a little bit more difficult about it. Whether they know exactly what that difference is, I don't know. Maybe between just a double and single they might. But you know, I think in general it's about finding the balance. So you might not put the moves in your form that you would do to impress your homies like in a trick circle.
Right.
But I think that in general, I think judges can appreciate difficult moves. So I wouldn't let that limit what you're trying to throw in a form. And I think that also, you know, the crowd is such a big part of the form. I almost view them as part of the form. So if you can get the crowd hype, then you know, that's going to be a major asset to your scores.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Speaking of getting the crowd hype, I'm working on my segues here.
Yeah.
It's not a very good segue, but I wanted to play some more videos. I just want to hear you talk about. I want to hear a legend talk about legends. So next up on my list here, we got Anthony Atkins.
Yeah, Anthony Atkins is definitely
who
legendary.
has not had enough airtime on this show. I'll say that, which is really sad because
Yeah,
this guy, I've watched probably every single Anthony Atkins video that's on
yeah.
the internet.
Considering that he basically invented tricking, he should be on like every show.
Yes, he's
Um,
invented so many moves. I can't
so many
even.
moves.
I.
Webster, axe aerial,
Well, hold
hyper
on
B
now. Did he actually
twist.
invent Webster?
First to do it, I believe, in a form.
All right. Oh, first to do it in a
He,
form. Okay.
he might have invented it. You know, he might have actually
Well,
invented it. I'm
no, I
not quite
literally.
sure.
This could be a myth, but I literally thought the Webster was named after a guy named Webster. Could be wrong though.
I heard it with, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but Anthony had something to do with the Webster. He was either the first to create it or the first to like do it in a form. One of those. Either way, I know he was the first to do Webster to a knee. That's 100% for sure. And yeah, bunch of moves. Hyper twist. There's a move called the Charlie kick back then, which is
kick.
a
I was going to
flash
mention
kick.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's super creative, super explosive. No competitors are like Anthony.
No, and he moves in such a different way, and he's got the mad hops.
Boom, yeah.
Man, this is exciting. So, do you think that, like, growing up, your competitors, do you think they were looking at, historical videos as, like, on the level you were? Or do you think you're kind of an exception to that?
Well, I think Matt, my coach, Matt Emick, definitely encouraged me to watch all these videos because these are the guys that he looked up to.
Yeah.
So he would always send me these videos because, Matt's definitely like an expert when it comes to this stuff. So I think through that, my eyes have been open to, all those old school guys through Matt a lot. So I've definitely had a lot of exposure.
Yeah. There's a lot of. I'm sorry, everybody that's watching the show today, and I'm ignoring your comments. I'm watching them, but we have a lot of people that are just basically shouting out how awesome you are. So shout out to everybody that's
thank you guys
shouting you out. Education. That was what I wanted to ask you. What do you have? This is your senior year of high school. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you got any plans for next year?
Yeah, I plan on going to college.
Yeah.
For business.
Hustling.
Whatever that means. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hustling.
Gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
I know you're a big Gary Vee fan too, right?
I love Gary Vee. Yeah.
We like to talk about Gary Vee on the show. He comes up a lot because a lot of people love Gary Vee. Tell me, what's your story with Gary Vee?
My story with Gary. So I've been an OG Gary fan. I've been a fan for him for like probably a couple of years now at least, which is pretty. I feel like it's a pretty long time for being a Gary Vee fan. So I was doing a little performance for like some school like charity thing for the martial arts school that I am associated with, and we got there and there was like we were either there early or there was like a delay or something, and we were just chilling in the car, and the owner of the real estate of the dojo that I goes to, who's definitely like business dude, hustler. He was watching Gary Vee on the aux cord, and I was like, man, this guy's like awesome. Who is this guy? And he told me it was Gary Vee, and then I just started listening to him, and I became like a big fan of Gary's. He's awesome.
Yeah, I know you got to meet him recently in Boston. I was a little jealous. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was cool. That was like, if I had a choice to meet like anybody in the world at that event, it would have been Gary Vee. Like I wouldn't have chose anybody over him. So that was awesome. Now, especially that I got to like ask him questions and stuff too.
I'm just taking a stab in the dark here, but it kind of looks like you've listened to his advice, because I watched the video where he gave you advice, and one of the things he said was that just give away free content, just give stuff away, create stuff, just put it out there. And I noticed lately on Facebook, Instagram, you've been pumping out a ton of stuff. Is that related, or like what are you doing with your social media game right now?
Yeah, for sure. So I would definitely say that's related to Gary, because after he told that, like I knew, like it was obviously like the first thing I wanted to do is like, okay, boom, he told me to do this stuff. Let's just go like start right now. I'm gonna post a video tonight.
Yeah.
And I kind of made a mistake doing something similar to that before. This summer, I like said that I was going to post a vlog every single day.
Yeah.
And
It's
like I
hard.
started that, and oh my gosh, that is hard. I
Yeah.
think I got like first maybe 14 days I got out, and then it would be like once every 2 days and
Yeah.
once every 3 days. And it's really hard because your schedule is always changing.
Yeah.
There's always things coming up. I mean, sometimes you're on set and like there would be cool footage, but like you don't want to pop out your video camera. And
Right.
yeah, so I wanted to do something that was a little bit more thoughtful. So the first thing that I'm doing that I started maybe a month ago is this little playlist. I think the playlist is called like Domination Secrets: What Your Instructor Didn't Tell You, or something like that.
Nice.
And so that's being those videos are being promoted on Facebook and YouTube because they're a little bit more like long form videos, maybe like 4 to 6 minutes. I've probably been so far, and those are just some tips. I think not how to do 540, not how to all that stuff that you can already look up. It's like some real tips just for extreme martial artists, and just like performance skills, training skills, and just like some personal things that I do that I've never heard anybody talk about before, and literally my secrets. So, and obviously I was hesitant at first about putting it out, and then I just thought,
What
okay,
do you got to lose?
What do I have to lose?
Yeah. Nobody out-trains you. Nobody outworks you. They're not going to be able to beat you with your own.
That's what's going to come down to. And now I'm almost on the other side of the spectrum, and I hope everyone takes this advice because, first of all, I want to see people kill it. But then in my competition, if everyone starts taking this advice, which, who knows if they will,
right?
But that's hopefully going to get them better. And then I'm going to say, I need to start creating some more stuff, and then I'm going to up my game. And even though it's going to make me better. So
it's going to make you better. And also they're going to be so grateful, like if you unlock all of these amazing secrets to all these athletes that are like the next up and comers, and now they're on this whole new level, they're going to go back and be like, yeah, Danny Etkin taught me. I watched Danny Etkin videos. I listened to his advice. That's huge. That's part of your legacy. That's part of being your legendary status. Is like, I think it's great. Give away that free stuff.
Thank you.
There's a lot of people that are afraid of like giving away the secrets. And I'm like, man.
And that's who I was for the longest time.
Knowledge is free, man. You just let it out there. Give it away.
Yep.
Yeah. I can't wait to see all the stuff you keep coming out with. So people can find that on YouTube. Is that right?
YouTube and Facebook,
cool.
On my athlete page.
Awesome. So make sure you're subscribed and following and liking and sharing and social mediaing him. Do not forget to do that if you, for some reason, aren't yet. The vlog thing too. Last summer I wanted to do vlogs, and I actually had this challenge. So I turned 30 in July. July 1st is my birthday, and so I had this concept in June. I was gonna call it 30 for 30, or 30 days till I'm 30, and make a new video every single day of June, because June is a 30 days in the month. And I was like, let's do it. And like on June 1st, I edited this great video where I filmed it, and then I didn't finish it. I'm like, no worries, I'll get it done the next day. And then it took like 4 days, and I was like,
it's really tough.
It sounds so hard. Yeah.
It sounds so easy. It's like, okay, just live your life and then like film a couple videos and then put them on iMovie or something, like easy.
Right.
But like the hard part is if you take 4 hours of footage, that's 4 hours of editing at bare minimum. That's that's impossible.
That's if you watched the clip one time, made the edit, moved on, or
exactly.
You have to watch it at double speed or something. It's not possible. Yeah.
Yeah, and 4 hours of footage is like not even that much, like throughout a whole day.
No.
So I mean, it's tough. It's
a
tough.
lot of work. So
and
I
like
commend
you see all the vloggers and stuff, they make it look so easy, but yeah.
Right.
If I was gonna give a tip though on how to do it, I would say like put a chunk out, like have a chunk of your day that you kind of just like say, okay, this is gonna be my vlogging time. This is gonna be the theme, and then you can get that done. And after that, like first couple hours or something, okay, boom, I got my footage, and now I can just go ahead and edit it It's going to make your editing time quicker, and it's going to be a little bit more focused too on the vlog. So
For sure.
if I was going to redo it, that's what I'd do.
There's an illusion out there when people watch these daily vlog videos and they think that the vlog consists of some person's entire day, but it's not. Like I know I'm assuming you're a big Casey Neistat fan.
Of course.
Yeah. So Casey Neistat's like the king of vlogs, and like we watch Casey Neistat videos and you think that he's like we know what's going on in his day, but like I think he only shows us a little taste of it. You think you know, but you have no idea like everything that goes on in his day because he carefully plans them out. By the way, Ashton says hi.
Hello, Ashton.
Hello, Ashton. Sorry, I'm trying to. Oh, hold on a second, Jerry. That's interesting. Sorry, so I know we got to go back in time with our conversation. The Webster talk, like who invented the Webster. This sounds familiar. Jerry Gross says he thinks that the Webster was named after Jamie Webster, and he threw it in sparring. Okay,
that's pretty cool.
That totally that name Jamie Webster sounds super familiar. That seems legitimate. So
yeah, that's sick.
Internet fact. We'll call it an internet fact till it's proven. But that's cool.
I know that Atkins was definitely the first to like Webster to a knee in a form though.
Oh, okay. But I will give him that. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's sick though. Cool. I learned something new.
Yeah. Brendan says, hi, Danny. Keep killing it, man.
Thanks, Brendan.
Jackie and Daniel Person said hello to you as well. I'm trying not to ignore my wolf pack here because I find that when I talk to a guest, I ignore the entire live audience that's tuning in, and then I feel bad. So actually, I've made a switch this week, and you are my only guest of the week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you are the.
I'm honored.
Yes, sensei. Yes, sensei. Because I was like, I want to be able to talk to my guests a little bit more, but I know that they really appreciate when we can have guests like you on. So real quick, we got about like 5 minutes left. So I want to spend the last couple of minutes actually talking, giving advice to the Wolfpack that are tuning in, because there's a lot of athletes that are watching, like up and comers. You know, they're just getting introduced into like the NASCA scene or whatever circuit they do, NBL or whatever, and they look up to superstars. They are like the guys like you that are always on stage, they're always winning. Real fast, like give me some motivation, give me some tips, like give me some knowledge, like what you got to do.
Yeah, so I think the main thing is, I think there's really three main things that kind of factor into becoming successful. I'd say about 65% of it is smart training, okay? So I think most people would say hard training, but I would definitely value smart training over hard training because you don't want to train in the wrong direction. I see people train all the time super hard, but they're practicing sloppy and they don't really have much thought behind it. And you have to have some like intent behind your training. You got to know what you're looking for. You have to be a perfectionist. You got to start filming yourself. You got to start using the mirror, and you have to be tough on yourself. Okay, and that's just it's kind of annoying. Sometimes I almost like annoy myself on how tough I am with myself because I need everything to be perfect, and I'll do things like there was one move that I did the other day for about an hour and a half, and then I like went upstairs when I went home, and then I saw some videos and I did it for like another hour, or actually not an hour, like another 30 minutes on one move. And that's like, that seems like crazy even thinking about it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of what you got to do if you like really, really want to be like that Matt Emig, John Valera level. You got to be a perfectionist. So smart training, getting clean. So then it's like a habit when you go fast. That's the key. And then and having style too. That's really important. So 65% smart training. I'd say about maybe like 30% is hard training. You know, just how hard you train. Making sure that you just like, you know, basically just have a good session every time. You got to train as much as you can.
How often do you train?
Recently, I've been training about 6 to 7 days a week. I've been training.
Awesome. And how long are your sessions?
Recently, I've been doing a little bit longer than I normally do. I've been doing about 2 to 4 hours a day.
What? 4 hours?
Sometimes I'll look at the clock and I'm like, what the heck? Yeah.
How do you have time? Like, you're in school and stuff, right?
Yeah, I am in school, but I'm extremely motivated right now, more than I've probably ever been in my life. And I think when you're that motivated, you can just find the time. And
yeah.
Is
it one training session a day, or do you like break it up?
If I do 2, it's because I'm going to the gym also, like lifting weights or doing some cardio or something. But don't think that you have to train for 4 hours a day. That's definitely not every day that I'm doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been happening more than at least it used to. But you can have awesome sessions in 45 minutes. Really, really good sessions that are at the same level of a 4-hour session. The reason why mine are a little bit longer right now is because I'm in a little bit more of a cleanup and creative phase in my training, and that kind of allows you to train longer. And but yeah, like, you definitely don't need to do that. You can have an amazing, amazing, amazing session in 45 minutes, in and out, stay focused, and then and that's about it. I mean, if you keep it consistent, you're gonna see yourself like skyrocket in your skills. So yeah, smart training, hard training, and then I'd say 5% is talent. And nobody wants to hear that, but I'd say 5% of it is talent.
Only 5%.
5%.
Yeah. Okay, wow.
But the cool thing, though, is that everybody's talented at something, okay? So I think a lot of people can view this as like, oh, I don't have the talent, like, I'm just not going to even try. But what you got to do is you got to find what your talents are. So a really easy example is Jackson Rudolph. Awesome competitor. Definitely like is one of the dominating competitors of the adult division.
He's watching the show right now. What up, Jackson?
Awesome. What's up, Jackson? Got to shout you out. And he found his strength. He found his strength with a bow, and he turned that into his own style. And now he's created a whole movement because of that. So, that's what you got to do with your own training. Find your style, find what your strengths are, and then make sure that other people, buy into that. They have to buy into what you're doing. Sell your forms, and that's what I have to say about that. So, yeah.
That's smart. Jackson, not to call you out, but I was actually using you as an example earlier today, and we were talking. This goes back earlier in the conversation. We were talking about, like, how do you judge a form, and some guy was saying, like, these days, everybody has no practical application. It's all just tricks and flash. And my counter argument was Jackson as an example, because I was like, Jackson, a lot of people say Jackson is nothing but tricks and flash. But you ask Jackson, and he'll be like, no, I break down my form almost to like a mathematical, scientific ratio of tricks versus solid mechanics and solid techniques, and I make sure that my form is all solid. And what he's doing there is he's doing what you're telling me right now, is he's selling his style. Like, he really, like, he's explaining it, and once you listen to it and you're sold, you're like, all right, that's legit.
Exactly. And then, but here's the problem though too, because other people will get so bought into his style because he's doing it so well that they forget that what their own strengths are.
Right. They just copy him.
Yeah. So you got to find your own. You got to find your own strengths, and then double, triple, quadruple down on those strengths.
Yes, you have to be you for sure.
Yeah.
That's a big flaw in sport karate. Whether you're copying a weapons competitor or you're copying a tricker. Trickers get caught up in this too all the time, right? They find their favorite tricker, and then they just want to do what they're doing instead of taking the time to be themselves, and then they just get labeled as a clone, and all that stuff. But yeah, being original is the hardest thing. And I know you've given this speech before, because I've heard you do these speeches at like hyper camps and stuff about originality, creativity. How do you be creative?
Yeah, I think I either posted a video kind of similar on this topic, or I'm about to. But one major tip to being creative is finding a lot of people that you want to take their influence. Okay, so you find 20 people. You don't find one person, because if you find one person that you steal from, you're a biter. So you got to find 20 people, and then take a little bit of their stuff, put it all together, change it up a little bit, make a little concoction, and now you're creative. Boom, formula. That's how you do it.
There you go.
Easy. Yeah.
So copy one person, you're a biter. Copy 20 people, you're an innovator.
Exactly. But you can't. Okay, but you got to obviously take that with a grain of salt a little bit. You don't want it to be like super obvious and like by 20 people, it's like you do 20 forms and like each one is from a different person or something. It's you take it in and you put it into your own
thing. Put it in a pot and like mix it up.
Nobody should have any idea where you took those from. And, the reason behind this is there's no such thing as an original idea. Everybody can trace their idea to something else before them. And even if they can't, you can find something similar. So, just take advantage of that and just realize already that you can't really create something completely new. Or if you do, you're extremely almost lucky if you can do that and gifted. But just take advantage of that.
Cool.
Get a lot of influences and put them together.
So we have a couple of questions. So if you're cool, sticking around for just a couple more minutes.
Do it, yeah.
If you guys have any more questions, feel free to drop them in. I'm going to take a couple questions right here. First off, Brendan wants to know, do you prefer clean technique or effective technique?
Clean.
Okay. I'm not really sure. I guess, yeah. I'm trying to think of what the difference is, but I guess effective technique is just these brute force. Everybody knows the answer. We don't even have to ask Danny this question, really. Like, you look at Danny's style, it's like he's all about the clean. Like, everything he does is very sharp. And I think effective technique contrast would be like these guys are just like, rah, busting out.
Like
kicks.
When I heard effective technique, the thing that just popped into my head was like a jump front kick with your hands out like this and like the ball of the foot like out on the jump front kick. So that's what came into my head when I heard effective.
Which is less likely going to break your toes if you struck like that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look good.
Yeah.
It's gotta look good. Jerry Gross says, question for Danny. I'm going from a closed tournament to NASCA. Would you suggest the first year doing a full season or mixing it up with half NASCA and half local?
I mixed it up about half and half. I think a lot of people do that. It's a good transition. To be honest, I haven't thought about it too much, but I'd probably lean towards that. I'd probably go a little bit half and half.
Yeah. Don't go full in, until you
test it out. See if you like it. And, you can try stuff out at the local tournaments and see how your forms work out. And then if it works out good, put it in NASCA. If you need to adjust it, you can do that.
So a lot of people also, let me rephrase the question. I was going to go down a negative route. I'll turn it into a positive route. What are the expectations that somebody should look for, like their first year doing NASCA?
First year, you shouldn't be looking at too much. I didn't win anything my first year competing on NASCA. You gotta figure it out, and you gotta like the process of it. I think a lot of people they're rushing. I've been seeing a lot of posts saying like, "Oh, it's like my first year competing, and I haven't gotten this win yet, and it's because I have no team on my back."
Right.
There's a reason why people got on those top teams.
Right.
So you gotta think, okay, I'm in this. I'm gonna enjoy the process. And I'm going to start getting dead last. And if I don't get dead last, or if one judge thinks that I'm not dead last, cool. Let's see if I can get two judges to think I'm not dead last. And then you work your way up until you're at the top tier.
There you go. That's awesome. That's a good way to put it. If I have one judge that doesn't think I was the worst competitor, then I call that a win, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And even if at your your first tournament, if like you get last in everything and you drop, cool. Now you have an awesome story. You have a success story now. So that's awesome.
All right, man. You're the master of positive spinning. I like it. That's good. No, I got to say, that is probably really discouraging, if you go up and you get last place.
Yeah.
And you're like, dang.
Yeah.
Last place. This is the worst. Somebody has to get last place.
It can only go better from there, though.
That's
as long as you stick in it. Yeah.
So
just
enjoy
don't let
the
it
process.
discourage you. You got to think long term with it. Yeah.
Long term. Cool. Jacob Wood wants to know, how do you set yourself apart from other competitors? What makes someone stand out?
What makes someone stand out? There's a lot of things, but this is like my main. Okay, this is something that I heard my coach say on Paul Mitchell, and this is very simple. Be better. Simple. You got to be better in everything. Okay, on and off the mat. What type of person are you? You know, how are you going into the ring? What are you like when your form is over? Are you like like dying, like looking like you're going to pass out when you're leaving the ring, or are you professional, standing in the back, cheering on your competitors? You know, do you have your own style? You know, how are you pushing your forms? And you know, there's so many things inside of and outside of the ring. You have to be better at everything. You have to be cleaner, faster, stronger, more creative. And if you're better at everything, you can't lose.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is something I don't think I've ever heard anyone say before. To not only be better in the ring, but be better outside the ring. Be how can you be a better, you know, better sport? How can
Yeah.
you be a better person? Like, how can
Mm-hmm.
you just level up you as a person in general and
Yeah.
increase all the things about you?
Exactly.
Then how
Because
can you lose if everything is better, right?
yeah, because you could be an awesome competitor, and you know, we're getting judged, and it's gonna a lot of it's gonna be based on you know, people's perception of you, perception of your form, hopefully, but you know, not to be harsh, if nobody likes you
Yeah,
because you're being like really rude all the time,
yeah,
or you know, that's gonna affect your forms,
it might.
and even if your form is the best, and even if it shouldn't, it's just part of human nature, and people, you know, want to attach labels to people, so you got to be respectful, and it should be something that comes naturally. So
Cool. Oh, here's an important question that we didn't cover. Who are your this is Brendan wants to know, who are your tricking inspirations?
tricking inspirations, I'd say Three Amigos,
Let's get a
Matt
little,
Emick.
let's get a little Three
Let's
Amigos.
get a little Three Amigos action. These guys, I still think, are some of the greatest of all time. They have the style, they have the cleanliness. Every single move that they do counts. They don't do a move just to say that they landed a new move. They do it because it's an art form, and they're doing it because that's like you just get a totally different vibe from the Amigos than any other trickers, I think.
Oops. Hold on. Transitions. Here we go.
They have style too.
Yes.
You know, a lot of style. Even how they're dressed right now, they have like their khaki pants on or jeans or whatever. Anissa's in the Adidas pants, but you know, he's doing everything with style. Good landings. They're not just like sulking off after they land their tricks. They're
Right.
positive. Their chest is up. Yeah. Style. Boom.
Style.
That hook kick. Pointed toes, side swipe to flash kick into a nice 1080 at the end there.
Look at my style. I got the khaki shorts on back there. You see me with the
Yeah.
camera? Yeah.
Now that's
Style.
what I call style. They stole from you. I
Uh-huh.
like that. The you got served move. That was cool. Yeah, Daniel Graham's one of my favorite trickers for sure.
And why
Awesome
is that?
flow. He is one of the best flows, I think. Flow and power.
To explain flow to people.
It's like the continuation of your movements. It doesn't look like it's choppy. Every move is just flowing from one to another, and you know, you can kind of feel that momentum coming from his tricks. One just effortlessly goes into the next move, and it just looks really nice. Style, it looks easy. Like you know that the moves are hard, but they make it look just so natural.
Cool. I think Jeremy Marinas is one of the greatest trickers of all time,
Yeah.
but doesn't like people don't say that enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what's crazy about Jeremy Marinas is like he's really like secretive almost with his tricks these days because he's doing all these Hollywood stunts and movies and stuff. Like he doesn't post for years and years and years now. He doesn't post videos. He deleted any video he had posted on the internet. So it's really hard to find Jeremy Marinas tricking these days. And I know that he just comes up with new stuff that no one's ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
He understands tricking on a whole different level.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, for sure. And that's just one of those things that like you got to live it to really get to that level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Boom. Style.
Now I think there's a lot of the tricking world out there that like I don't think they look at like everybody thinks Danny, Anise, and Jeremy are amazing trickers, but I don't think they all look at it the way that like a sport karate competitor looks at it, like yourself, because you really respect some other aspect, like the kicking part of it, for example. I think like a lot of trickers these days don't take the time to celebrate the kicks, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And kind of like going back to what I was saying before, it's like they're really focusing on the execution of it. You know, I mean, I might be wrong because I haven't like trained with these guys that much, but I feel like I haven't seen any of these guys just like trying a move over and over again, like a triple cork or something, and just like falling and falling and falling. Because that's not. It doesn't seem like that's what their goals are. I don't know. I'm kind of just saying that off of my observation, so I can't like speak on behalf of them. But that's what it seems like, at least. And that's what excites me. And I actually recently saw a video, like maybe a day or like yesterday, of Andy Lee. And he was just doing some like 6, 720s, some statues, just kicking the paddles. And that's what excites me. I love that. And I feed off of that, like probably more so than even maybe the new crazy tricks. And I don't get me wrong, I love that too. I love to see people push the sport with new moves and techniques. But where I'm at right now, for some reason, maybe just because that's how I'm wired, I just love seeing when people are just focused on perfection. That's what excites me the most.
Yeah, for sure. And it takes an educated eye to really break down why you like some of these things. Like Andy Lee, for example, great example. He's been on the show before, and I think Andy Lee's mesmerizing. And anybody that likes tricking is going to like watching Andy Lee. But it's not like you like Andy Lee because he can do dub 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 or triple cork or anything like that, because he can't. But what he can do is like, you know, can master his body, and he's defined himself in a very unique way.
Yeah.
One thing that I always say is like, you know, you have style when people can watch your shadow and know who you are. You know, like
exactly.
There's a lot of people out there that they just care about doing the same thing, the same, you know, double, triple, whatever, twist, and then they never find the time to like figure out who they are. They just want to learn that twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Joe says, props for being so straightforward with your commentary while being so young.
Thank you.
Forever young. Experienced, but young. Can you contribute that to your years of competing and training?
Yeah, for sure. I would. Yeah, definitely. I don't think I'd be able to speak about any of this stuff if I haven't been training or competing.
Softball questions here, buddy.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding. But no, yeah, of course. That's
maybe a little props to your parents too.
Props to my parents. Props to Matt Emig. Props to my team. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the reason why like maybe it seems like I'm coming off like straightforward or something is because I really love like talking about this stuff, and like this is like my favorite type of conversation where we just talk about this stuff, and this is what I enjoy thinking about, what I enjoy talking about, because I just find it really interesting. So
hey, me too. That's what the show is about.
That's what it's about.
Well, with that, I think we're gonna wrap it up because we are definitely over our time limit. We had a couple questions there, and then we went off, started talking about all kinds of stuff. But I gotta like hone it in, and I'm trying to keep it 1 hour, and we went past that.
Did we?
Yeah, we're an hour.
Seems quick.
We're an hour 15. So,
oh wow.
Anyhow, Mr. Legend, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, this was fun.
Super awesome. Wolfpack, you guys turned out today. Appreciate everybody taking the time to watch. I know we had a little bit different time thing today. We had to do it for the Legend. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode. Keep training hard. Do everything Danny said. Make sure you're following him on the YouTubes, the Facebooks, the Instagrams. School owners out there, if you haven't figured it out yet, this is a amazing person to come out to your school and do seminars. I don't know what Danny's availability is. I just threw you out there. Hopefully you're open for some seminar opportunities. But I highly recommend that you get him in your school. And do you do any private lessons or anything?
Yeah, I do private lessons,
Like
Skype privates, and
cool.
privates at tournaments. Yeah.
So you can just hit him up.
Hit me up.
All right, there it is.
Sure.
He's
awesome.
He's accessible. He's right there. All right, guys, take
here.
it easy. See you in the next one.
See you later. Thanks, Jacob. Appreciate it.
You're
welcome.
Fun. Peace.
All right. Peace.